Hard to imagine nowadays, but 50,000 years ago, a gigantic ice sheet covers the state of New Hampshire, making it as flat and featureless as the plains of Nebraska. But time changes things, both for the good and bad. And in the case of the White Mountains, for the beautiful. Back in 1858, few folks see these mountains the way you and I do today. Back then, no airplanes fly, no GPS figures things out for them, no National Geographic photographs show them their wonderful world. Back then, folks live where they live, see what they see, and that is that. Until a man named Sylvester Marsh comes down with a stomachache that will not go away. Or so the story goes. And it's an amazing story worth telling, with as many twists and turns in it as a pretzel, and just as salty, with characters sprinkled here and there along the way who are just as determined as Mr. Marsh not to build a railroad around or through a mountain. Heck, anybody can do that. But to build one that climbs up through the clouds, clear to the top. Well, now that's a story worth telling. Not only how they did it back then, but how they're still doing it today. First things first. Some folks claim Sylvester Marsh is crazy. Well, yes, like a fox, maybe. For that matter, anybody who's ever worked on the cog railway, from that first tree falling in the White Mountain Forest nearly a century and a half ago, to the first train climbing up the summit this morning. The word crazy does apply, providing you add like a fox, because to face the forces of nature waiting for you each and every day on this mountain and not back down takes determination, cleverness, resilience, courage, and did I mention timing? Back then, Sylvester Marsh knows the good thing when he sees it coming over the horizon long before anybody else does.
The Cog Railroad was not built for mining, it was not built for logging, it was built for tourism.
Marsh's foresight comes from a powerful lot of hindsight learned the hard way. Growing up poor on a farm in New Hampshire, by 52, he makes a fortune in Chicago, where his New England grit and determination, combined with some mighty clever inventions, revolutionizes the grain drying industry. So, rich and happy, he decides to retire and take it easy. Instead, Marsh gets bored with nothing much to do until his stomach trouble starts up. Otherwise known as dyspepsia, the malady leads him to seek a cure in the clean, fresh air of his boyhood, and to climb a mountain while he's at it with a minister friend, Augustus Thompson, a climb neither one of them would ever forget.
So they stayed at the Crawford House, then they went for the hike up Mount Washington. And as they got, say, halfway up, the weather changed dramatically. It can happen to anybody by surprise. So they decided to continue. It became dark and freezing and hailing, and it was horrendous. And they, of course, got lost. And so they stumbled into the Tip Top House and survived. And the sunrise was enormously dramatic. There was a writer there at the same time, and he wrote up what they saw. Cascading clouds, bright sun. One moment you could see the Atlantic Ocean and you could see Vermont. The next moment everything was obscured, and it was just this tumultuous visual scene. But Sylvester decided what he would tackle is try to make the mountain more accessible for visitors, safer.